Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 95 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on my writing. So, yay for day 95. I always have so many different things to talk about, to say, to do, and sometimes I think it's negative, sometimes I think it's just random breakthroughs, epiphanies that I'm having trying to untangle my web of emotional things. Sometimes I just jump right into my writing. Um, so today I did another one of those acrostics poems. It was kind of a really short one, kind of fun. Having issues with the whole formatting thing. I need my vision board friend to teach me how she does that. Like, how do you make it fit? I did figure it out. It was just a little frustrating. But I connected with an old friend today. I have to say she's one of my best friends. And I feel like I can still call her my best friend because even though it's probably been like 4 years since I've seen her, 4 or 5 years. I just can't even remember now. But we knew each other in college. We were roommates for 2 years, and our second year we got really close. I was her maid of honor at her wedding. She came to my wedding. We don't we don't talk on a regular basis. Every couple of years, we just randomly tell each other what's going on, good news, bad news, whatever. Go up for a visit. I always try to stop by and see her. I didn't the last year when I was up there because I flew up and I was much further away from where she lives. But if I drive out to visit my family, I always try to stop and see her either on my way up or back or both. Um, so anyway, I think I randomly sent her a message yesterday, maybe, and so she was responding back to me today, and so we started messaging back and forth, and it was kind of fun, and she agreed to read my books for me as well. So I have one more person that's reading my books, giving me reviews. I don't know if it's good. I know it's probably not good to have too many people, but it would be nice to have some people because I'm still trying to learn. And because there's only so much I can figure out by myself. On the rest of it, I kind of need help. I need feedback. I need to understand what people like, what people don't, and not necessarily to be a people pleaser, but just to try to answer the questions. Like my first round of Illinois and the Teachers of Powers, I had friends. I mean, I had some people that just like, oh, we just didn't understand the setting, or this wasn't, it just wasn't specific enough. There weren't questions, and I had a couple of friends, even the one that refused to finish reading my book, that asked a lot of questions that pointed out that the holes in my book. So I rewrote the book trying to answer those questions to fill in those holes, to add the additional detail that was missing because I didn't know what was missing. Other people were saying it was missing, but I was like, okay, well, what's missing? What don't you understand? I'm not getting this. So I rewrote it, hoping to fill in all of those holes. So now I've sent it out to different people to see, I guess, a different perspective. Because if I send it back to the same people, I'm sure they could still tell me, yes, you answered my questions, you filled in my holes, whatever. But they already know the plot, they already know the story, so I don't know if it becomes like it is with me and I read it, oh my god, and I'm bored with this again. I get bored easily, it's sad. Um, but anyway, um, so I decided to send her my books, and because she had a similar childhood to mine, um, with some abuse, divorced parents, all of those things, that's probably one of the reasons we connect and why we're still friends. And she's one of those people, one of those friendships, those relationships where it doesn't matter how long you've been apart. When you get back together, you just like connect. You just pick up where you left off, and you still feel comfortable and safe with that person because nothing has ever transpired between us to break that trust, to to end that friendship. And I'm grateful to have friendships like that, to know that we've both grown, we've both developed, we've both struggled through our challenges, and even though we haven't always been there for each other, we've always known the other person was just a phone call away. And we always knew we could just get back together. And at some point, we talked about, living next door to each other, raising our families together, doing all of that. And she's married and raised her family. And I'm still trying to figure out mine. So she still has kids that are home. But anyway, it was nice to connect with her today. And it was nice to send her an email, and I figured as long as I was sending her an email, I started thinking about her and I started thinking about our friendship. So I just used her first name. I didn't do like her whole long name like I do with some of the other ones, but I just, for each letter of her name, I thought of all the words for each letter that described her. And of course, this is another one of my friends whose first name starts with the letter B. And the funny thing is they all have completely different names that start with the letter B, but apparently there's a lot of names that start with the letter B, because I find myself saying, I have this friend that starts with, and I was like, yeah, they all start with B. So um, I I typed that up and I emailed that to her today along with my books for her to read. Um, and so she's sent me a message right before I started the video saying that she got my email and she's going to start reading. I was like, okay, well, I hope that, you don't have any high expectations of what you're going to read, or I hope that you enjoy it. I think there's still that part of me that just refuses to believe that I did a good job of something, that what I have is of value. And I need to let go of that part of me, because that's just crazy. She's excited to read my work. I should be excited that people are excited to read my work, to see what I'm doing. And I'm anxious for the feedback, of course, because I want to know, I want to fix, I want to make things perfect. I have that perfectionism in me. Or, of course, I want the acclamation. I want the praise and being, okay, it's perfect. I don't think anybody's going to come back and say, okay, it's perfect. But I'm kind of hoping that I got most of the holes and the gaps filled in, so that people are just coming back with minor questions or minor changes. So it's not like a whole complete rewrite. So I could just fill in a few blanks and um, maybe add a chapter or two. I hope not, but maybe. And, and go from there. So it's just kind of where I'm at in my writing. So that was what I wrote today, was that poem. And then I was just kind of thinking about today and the choices that I'm making today and the choices that I make in my life. And sometimes my struggle is to get started with the day and trying to remind myself that it's okay to just, what am I willing to do today? And let's work on that and see where it goes. Because sometimes once I'm willing to do something, then I start being willing to do something else, and I face more things and I do more things. And so tonight I was having another one of those realizations that I have some distorted, twisted ideas. So there's a lot of things that are trying to be untangled emotionally, trying to get put back into their proper perspectives. And but I'm grateful these things are being brought to the surface and brought to my mind. So I hope that it's not boring you watching these or listening to me, because it kind of, maybe it seems like I'm repetitious or repeating the same patterns, but maybe other people are struggling with the same patterns too. And maybe this will help, like you'll have like an aha moment, go, oh, I do that too. Oh, maybe that's why I do that. I don't know. But I think I just grow up, or I have this idea of what I think other people want me to do, because I was always trying to be a people pleaser. I was always trying to play the guessing game of, what am I doing wrong? How can I fix myself? What does the other person want? And that was never told to me growing up. The expectations were never given. I only knew when I didn't meet them and that I was in trouble. And I still didn't know what I did wrong. I just didn't meet the expectation. So, or I was unwilling to meet whatever the expectation was, because it made me uncomfortable, or I didn't like it, or I was bullied into something that made me uncomfortable. Like, not bullied, badgered, I guess, just like repeated multiple times. Why don't you want to do this? Everybody else is doing this. You did this before. You need to do it again. Yeah, it's just kind of like, I'm not allowed to change my mind. I'm not allowed to say no. I kind of, and eventually I'm just like, hey, fine, I'll do it. Just so you leave me alone. And I'm learning I don't have to give in to that. I can walk away from that. And maybe I couldn't when I was growing up, but I can now, which I'm grateful for. I'm grateful I don't have to respond the same way to those types of situations and those things. So I'm grateful for a lot of those things that are changing in my life, and it helps me to feel better about myself. But I think I still have that default setting, that subconscious mindset that says I need to please other people, or that I need to do certain things, or that I have to accomplish certain things in order to, I don't know, in order to fit in order to have my needs met, in order to whatever, fill in the blank. I'm not even sure what the blank is half the time. So, I mean, um, and then I also think that when I don't meet those expectations or when I'm unwilling to do those things for the day, rather than trying to figure out why I'm unwilling or what's going on with myself, I feel like there's something wrong with me. I feel like I'm doing something bad, and then I feel guilty and I feel ashamed. I feel embarrassed, and I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to face anything. I don't want to talk to anybody. And then I'm like, I'm just having another one of those days. And I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't understand why I do that. And um, tonight, I was going to take care of something, and I made the choice at some point today that even though that I'm not going to work tonight, I'm just letting that one go. I'm trying to let that one go. But when I make that decision, I know that affects my finances because I only get paid if I go to work. I don't have to go to work. It doesn't matter if I show up to work or not unless I want to get paid. Uh, so I'm just kind of like, if I don't go to work, I don't get paid, and then the bills don't get paid, and so it creates all that whole other side of stress. And sometimes I choose not to go to deal because I'm just dealing with emotional things, and I'm trying to learn to recognize that. Sometimes it's just because I think I need a day off because I've done so many days in a row and I'm just exhausted and I need a day off. In this case, I've actually been fighting a headache for the past 3 days, and I probably got about 4 hours of sleep, and I probably got woken up or interrupted every hour of those 4 hours of sleep. And I know I spent about half an hour in the middle of that talking to my friend, to my best friend that I haven't seen in years, but she's still one of my best friends. So, my old college friend, maybe I'll call her my college friend, my college best friend. I don't know. Anyway, um, it was nice to connect with her, but it's like I'm reading her messages, and I'm responding and then falling back asleep and responding and falling back asleep. But I'm just like, why don't I don't have to respond this second. And I need to remember that I don't have to respond. I can wait until I'm awake. I can turn the volume off on my phone. I can do other things to take care of myself. But once again, I was putting other people first. It's like a default setting of mine. And and it was nice to connect with my friend. I wanted to connect with my friend. So and then someone else called me when I was trying to sleep again, and I was like, I'm going back to sleep. And then actually I wasn't sleeping. I was should have been sleeping, and then I was thinking of all the things that I needed to do for the day, so I didn't want to go back to sleep, but I didn't want to wake up either. And so I was playing a game on my phone, and then someone called me, and I was like, I'm just gonna have to get up. It was my sponsor from my 12-step program, and she was just talking about stuff that's going on with her, because even though she was initially my sponsor, she's become my friend, and we kind of help each other. We go back and forth and share with things that are going on. So she just called to talk about stuff, and it's always nice when I can give back from, especially when she's helped me out so much. I don't mind helping her out. But again, it was just kind of realizing that I still put other people first. I don't think about my own needs, and I'm like, I'm so tired. I can barely keep my eyes open. And I mean, my eyes just feel heavy. The rest of me, I think, has some energy, and I really want to like follow through with my goals, and I want to do my writing, and my brain is going like a million miles an hour of all the things that I would like to accomplish. And my eyes are just like, we're not opening. Like this, this is nuts. We're tired. And of course, my head is like, if you move, we're just gonna like scream at you and do that weird dizzy thing that makes you want to like, not move. And I'm just like, yeah, but I can still move anyway if I go really slow, if I'm really careful, and I push myself, and I'm thinking, I really need to get to where maybe I'm just working 5 days a week instead of 6 days a week. I think I can handle that financially. I hope that I can. And I think that I need to just let myself have that time off, because most jobs are 5 days a week. They're not 6 days a week. And I do the 6 days, and then I have like my Sunday, and then I have a whole bunch of things that I do on Sunday that are different, but um, it still occupies the majority of my day. And so, or I end up not doing all the stuff that I would like to do on Sunday because it's the only day that I I don't have to work and do stuff. And so then, but then I feel disappointed because all of those spiritual things that I do on Sunday to help carry me through the rest of the week, that buoy me up, I don't do. Like, I don't go to my meetings, or I don't go to dinner with my parents, or um, I don't do things like that, or I don't do my writings because I choose to try to like sleep or to just veg out because I'm done for the week. So I'm trying to remember that it's okay for me to take care of myself. It's not wrong to take a day off of work so I can get some extra sleep. Probably not a good idea to take the day off of work and not actually get extra sleep, but it's not wrong to put myself first. There's not something wrong with me because I'm being aware of my needs, because I'm recognizing what my body needs. And if I can take care of myself physically, I will have more energy to work and to do other things to take care of myself financially. And it's not beneficial for me to just run myself into the ground, which is what I keep trying to do. I keep thinking, well, I can make all of these changes overnight, which I can't. And then I think, if I can't, there's something wrong with me, which there isn't. Well, maybe there's things wrong with me, or no, I'm not going to say it that way. No, there's not things wrong with me. I'm not perfect and I make mistakes, but I can learn from my mistakes. But I am not an inherently wrong person. I do not go around making a whole bunch of wrong, bad decisions. And I don't know that decisions are necessarily, I mean, some can be bad choices. You know, and some are unhealthy choices. Um, and there are lots of healthy choices and there are lots of good choices. And sometimes they're just choices, whether I sleep or go to work, whether um, what I decide to eat. Some of those things they're just choices. It doesn't matter. It's not necessarily right or wrong, good or bad. Although I could probably stand to eat some better food or, what I choose to spend my money on or how I choose to spend my time, like who I choose to spend my time with. And it's not bad to put other people first occasionally or to spend time with other people. And like I said, I haven't chatted with my friend in years. So to chat with her, and I mean, it was just on Facebook Messenger. We were just messaging each other back and forth. And I could have waited and done that later, but she was messaging me. She was available, and I was interested in knowing what was going on with her. So that was a choice that I made. Um, so I also have to live with the consequences of those choices of, being tired and not going to work because of that. But I don't have to keep beating myself up. I don't have to keep thinking there's something wrong with me because I'm making these choices and that there's nothing bad about me. So it was kind of interesting to have that, kind of epiphany again. And I say again because I'm sure I've thought these things before, but I'm trying to internalize these things. So it's one thing to have it in my head, to think it, to have other people tell me that, but it's something else to truly believe it, to truly feel it in my heart, in my gut, in my soul, that I'm not wrong, that it's okay to take care of myself. It's okay to get a little extra sleep sometimes, to try to catch up on some sleep. It's okay to try to find a balance in life. And again, to remember that every day is different. Every day holds its own unique challenges. And I can't keep expecting myself to be the same every day. And I hope that every day that I'm learning, that I'm growing, that I am open to the new experiences, the challenges that come my way, and that I'm more willing to face them. And I realized today that I'm willing to do things. I was like, I'm not willing to do anything. And I'm like, what am I talking about? I'm going to the bank, I'm moving money around, I'm getting something to eat, I wrote a poem for my friend. And I started listing the things that I did today. And I was like, okay, so I'm just not willing to go to work tonight because I'm just really tired. And I am willing to go to bed early because I just can't keep my eyes open. Um, but it doesn't mean that I'm not willing to do things. I just need to focus on the positive things, and I need to stop putting up things that I think I should do, like a should list, a have to list, because every day is going to be different. And there's probably some things that need to be non-negotiable, like my friend said, like writing in my journal and reading my scriptures and meditationals, saying my prayers, connecting to God, connecting to myself, feeling at peace with the decisions that I'm making. And I need to feel at peace with the decisions that I'm making because I have to live with them. I have to suffer whatever the consequences are of those decisions. I have to deal with having to make more money tomorrow and next week because I'm choosing not to work tonight. Um, I have to live with these decisions. I have to live with the choices that I'm making. I have to be aware of what the consequences are going to be, good or bad. Um, these are things that I'm learning, that I'm becoming aware of, and I am grateful for that awareness. I am grateful that it's helping me to shift my perspective, to untangle things, to put things in the proper perspective, to allow myself to be gentle with myself, to remember that I am trying to take care of myself, and that I do need to take care of myself and get rest and sleep so that I can function. Because otherwise, I'm going to keep going to work and wanting to do like half days or pushing myself and being ornery because I don't feel good. And then I'm not nice to my customers. And then I'm just complaining. And I don't want to be that complaining person. I don't want to be that ornery person. I don't want to be the one that focuses on all the problems. I want to start focusing on all the positive things and all the things that I'm doing, and all the things that I'm grateful for. And so grateful for a friend that I haven't talked to in years, that I could connect with, that I could still feel safe with, to know that I have friends like that in my life, and to remember that I've had friends like that in my life. We've been friends for like 20 some odd years, and over 20 years, and we haven't always been close, but we've always been able to connect. We've always understood each other. We've always been able to share and encourage each other and be there. And I'm very grateful for that, and I'm grateful for the new friendships and the new people and the change perspective, to see the things that I have that are so good in my life, and to be able to be gentle with myself, to change the words that I use, because in doing all of this writing, I'm learning how important words are, how important the words are that we say to ourselves as well as what we say to other people. And if I can say positive, uplifting words to myself, it helps. If I can change how I perceive something, instead of saying it's wrong of me not to go to work, or it's bad and therefore I just don't want to face, because I think when I tell myself that it's bad or it's wrong to take care of myself, that then I just don't want to face the rest of my day. I don't want to do other things, because, well, if I'm not willing to do the one thing that I have to do, then I'm not going to do anything else. It's like I'm punishing myself for for not doing something. Like I'm punishing myself for not going to work so I can't do anything else productive at home, or I can't let myself sleep because I'm supposed to be going to work, and so then I have to feel guilty, and I have this crazy back and forth insanity in my head. And I don't need to do that. I don't have to argue with myself anymore. I don't have to continue that cycle. I can stop. I can say stop. I can say pause. I can say I'm okay today because I'm tired. I need to let myself sleep. I need to let go of what I think that I should do, or how I think my day is supposed to go. I need to trust that things are working out the way that they're supposed to, and that God is going to take care of me. And if God's okay with me staying home from work today, I should be okay with me staying home from work today. Um, if God is inspiring me to write a poem about a friend, I can write a poem about a friend. I don't have to worry about writing some other thing. It doesn't have to be in a box. My life doesn't have to fit in that little square box. I am not a square peg. I'm pretty sure I'm a round one, and I just kind of roll all over the place and just and I just have fun. And that's great. And I love that. I wish that I would let myself do that more often and just roll around and have fun and see what pops up, and stop trying to force myself to fit in some kind of square box. And there are things that help me to remind myself that I am a round peg and not a square one, that I have freedom to roam, that I don't need fences. Um, I do need boundaries. Boundaries are good. I do need things to keep myself safe, but I need them to be flexible. And I know that I have people in my life, like my vision board friend, like my um, college friend, um, my park friend. I have friends, I have sponsors, I have people that I can turn to, my adopted parents that I can trust, that I can tell things to. I know that I'm safe and I'm loved, and it's okay. I also have people in my life that I have to set stricter boundaries with. And I'm just like, okay, I can tolerate you for short periods of time, and now I'm done. Or I can share certain things with you, but I can't discuss other things because it's not necessarily safe. I can't trust where that information is going to go. It doesn't mean that I don't love those people or care about those people. It just means that um, I don't always know where those things are going to go, or I know that those people may be more sensitive or have different opinions than mine, and I choose not to bring up things that will cause arguments or rifts in those relationships, because I know their personalities, and I just don't. I want to still be a part of their life. I want them to still know what's going on in my life. I just don't want to create rifts, um, by expressing my opinion, because there are people in my life that, and myself included, that we go on the defensive. Someone says something and it's not exactly what I want to hear or how it works, and I get defensive. I don't do that as much anymore. I think I'm more open and receptive to other people's opinions, outside opinions. And I'm trying to take the time to be like, huh, is that true? Is that something I can work on? Is that something I can learn? Yeah, that's something I can work on. That's something I can learn. This is a good thing. Or, oh, that's your opinion. Or, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Or, oh, I'm sorry I didn't realize I hurt your feelings. What can I do to fix this? Um, I think I'm more open and receptive to that. But I know that there have been lots of times in my life, and probably, just in the last few months or last year, that I would be like on the defensive, or like, why is everybody picking on me? Or thinking, you're right, I'm such a horrible person. I'm never going to get this right. I don't even know why I try. And all of those negative things. And I'm learning to let go of those. I'm learning to change that perspective, to change my response. But I know that there's still people in my life that if I share certain things, they get upset because they have a different opinion, they have a different experience, and they're defending their their point of view, they're defending their experience instead of just accepting my experience for what it is. And which is okay. People, I understand that there's people like that. And so I just try to respect that. And I just try not to bring up certain conversations so as to avoid the argument, to avoid the rift, to avoid the whatever. So I'm grateful that I can see the boundaries, that I can see the safe people and the somewhere in between people and the not safe people in my life that I don't even have to associate with anymore. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for those things. I'm grateful to see that I like to have fun, that I can just roll around and enjoy life. I am grateful for the reminders that I don't have to fit in a box, that I'm not wrong for trying to take care of myself or to do things differently. It's okay to be different. It's fun to be different. And I can enjoy what I have, and I can enjoy my personality. I can enjoy the things that I'm learning. And it's a gift, and I'm grateful for that. And it's something that I didn't understand, or I didn't see clearly as a gift before. Maybe I just wasn't given the opportunity. Maybe the opportunity was there, and I was just so blinded by the pain or the crazy, and I just didn't know what to do with it. you know. And I'm learning, and I'm grateful that life is a lifelong learning process. That life is meant to be experienced every day, um, and that you're never really done experiencing. You're never really done learning. There's always something new. There's always something more. There's not a okay, I'm done. There's, and it's not that I'm like this. I don't know. It's like my story, and I can keep rewriting it, and eventually it gets published because it's good enough. It's done. But then there's the next story. It continues. There's always a continuation. And I may learn something to a point where I'm like, okay, I feel comfortable with this. I'm good at this, like baking. I can follow a recipe. I can bake something. I can even alter recipes a little bit, change it up a little bit, and it still turns out pretty good. I'm pretty confident with things like that. I wouldn't, go on some cooking show or baking show, but I don't need to do something that well. But sometimes I think I'm like a jack of all trades because I like to try stuff just enough that I know what I'm doing and feel a little bit comfortable. But then I'm like, now I'm bored. I want to do something else. And I think that's one of the reasons I love writing, because even though I'm writing something, it's always something different. There's always a different story. There's always a different something that I can work on, something that I can write. And I have worked on and written so many different things in the past 95 days that it's amazing to me. And even though I didn't finish another book like I thought I was going to, I still learned so much about myself. I've still been able to um, broaden my horizons, my perspective, been able to untangle some things, been able to see some false ideas in my head, and start trying to put true ideas back into my head, putting things into their proper perspectives, putting a positive spin on things, learning to say positive words to myself, learning to say encouraging, uplifting words to myself, learning to say, tell myself it's okay to have a bad day, it's okay to cry, it's okay to stay home and take care of myself. It's okay. It's not wrong. It's not bad. And as I continue to take care of myself emotionally and physically and spiritually, that I'll be able to take care of myself financially and socially and mentally. And all of these things, they all kind of tie together. They all work together. But if I'm not taking care of myself spiritually and emotionally, I think those two are the biggest ones for me. If I'm not spiritually in tune with God, if I am not emotionally in tune with myself, I struggle to do anything else. And I mean, I can function, but then I'm just kind of in survival mode. I'm just there, and I'm just going through the process, and I don't even know what I'm doing. By the end of the day, I'm like, I don't even know what I did today. I couldn't even tell you where I was at or what I was doing because I wasn't aware. And I am so grateful that all of this writing and all of these things that I have been doing is making me aware of where I'm at, aware of what I'm doing, aware of who I am, aware of what my talents are, what my gifts are, aware of the blessings that I have in my life, aware of the friends and the people that have inspired me, uplifted me, helped me, supported me, have been there for me. And I haven't always been aware of them. I haven't always expressed to them how grateful I am for their influence in my life and how different my life would be if they hadn't been a part of it. And that's something I need to remember to do more of. And I also need to remember to be grateful for myself and for all the things that I've done for myself, for all the things that I have accomplished in my life, and to be aware that I am doing quite a few things. So I don't need to berate myself or be upset because I don't feel like doing something today. like so today I took a day off. But I think everybody needs a day off. Everybody needs a break. Everybody needs like a little reprieve before they go back to the mundane, the everyday routine. It's nice to just, step outside for a second and enjoy the air and the weather and the whatever it is. Whether you do it metaphorically speaking or you actually physically do it. Um, I think we mentally need to take a break from things sometimes. We need to take a step back so we can look at things from a different perspective, have a fresh take. And especially the things that are frustrating us or that aren't working, we can just walk away for a minute or a day or two and then come back. And that works with my stories, it works with my life, and I think it works with everything else. And so I'm grateful to be reminded of these things. I'm grateful to be able to comfort myself, to remind myself to use nice words to myself, to um, be okay with my choices today and not feel like I'm a horrible person for making the choice, or for not making the choice that I think I'm supposed to make. And I'm like, I don't know. It's not like somebody else is going to hate me or be upset with me if I don't make the right choice. I mean, if my bills are a little bit late, the people that I owe money to probably won't be too thrilled, but they'll just charge me a late fee and I just have to pay more money. Or I just take it out of my savings because I've been building my savings. So I have options. It's not like it's the end of the world if I take a day off, and I can already see the solutions because God is giving that to me. He's telling me it's okay. I just need to accept that it's okay, and I'm grateful that I'm learning, because there's that whole awareness part. I'm doing a whole lot of awareness, and I think I'm getting to where I'm starting to learn to accept. And I think that's the part of internalizing everything by accepting it, and then I can choose at that point. What action needs to be taken, or if any action needs to be taken, and maybe a lot less action and change needs to happen. Maybe it's just more a change of perspective and a change of attitude for me, And as I do that, I will be gentler with myself. I'll have more motivation. I'll be more willing to do things just by changing my perspective, by changing how I treat myself, um, and what words I use to describe myself and to talk to myself when I'm struggling or when I'm not wanting to do things. Talk to myself like a friend, like God would talk to me, instead of beating myself up because I feel like I'm not meeting some unknown expectation, or because I feel like if I don't do this that the rest of the world is going to hate me because I'm just not going to fit in that stupid square peg, that stupid square hole. I've never fit in a square hole. I've never been a square peg. I've tried. I think I just always get stuck there and I'm like, well, crap, now what am I supposed to do? I don't fit in and I'm stuck here. So I'm not stuck in a square peg or a square hole. Um, and I get to be myself. I get to be free. And I'm very grateful for that. And I'm grateful for my friends and for the people that support me and for the people that are watching these videos. And I hope if you like them, you can hit like, subscribe, or share with other people if you think it'll help them too. And I think that's all I have today. So I hope you have a great day full of gratitude and maybe do some writing.